Hello and welcome back to the ECAC Overwatch 2 stream. I'm Inferno, your caster, joined by my fellow caster Althea and our observer Beldia. How's it going tonight, Althea?
It is going pretty swell. We have two great teams here tonight. We got Fisher College out of Boston, Massachusetts, as well as the University of South Florida out of Tampa, Florida. Both are going into we're going to the 7th week here, and it's going to be Lijiang Tower as the starting map.
Yeah, back on good old Lijiang Tower. And we actually see a Doomfist pick. No!
Ramacha is definitely interesting too. I don't think we've seen too much Ramacha, but the Doomfist
Not too
definitely
much
would have
just
played
yet,
well
yeah.
into that Orisa.
Let's make this quick.
We're gonna see
100%.
as well as a Moira. I don't think we've seen a Moira pick yet this week. You see Talisman on the Widow for Fisher as well, which I'm just looking to see what kind of fights they get. I'm here ready to. Oh, we're gonna get a pause.
We have a quick pause here. Looking like Fisher might need to. Okay, yeah, it looks like we were just under the wrong rule set. Yep, just putting in a different code and then we should be okay. Gonna get a quick restart. But we can see the teams that they looked like they were going to be going with the Orisa and Sim mirror with the Juno and Brig as well.
Yeah, I
Looking
mean,
like pretty strong teams.
this timeout, like you said, is going to be great. Usually, this went pretty fast, so we can definitely look at these teams here. The Juno Brig, very typical. We've seen that almost every week. The Orisa is a pretty good pick. The Symmetras, I believe, are just picks out of spawn. I mean, we haven't gotten too far out, but we're also going to see the Ashe Widow for the snipers. And yeah, I mean, this looks like two pretty typical teams. I wouldn't be surprised if the Symmetra switched to something like a Cassidy or a Genji, possibly a Tracer.
Yeah, maybe just looking for that TP out of spawn, get their team a little bit closer to the point. I'm curious if we're going to see this Talisman staying on the Widow, maybe trying to go to that high ground, find a few picks. As we can see in the past few weeks with Overwatch, just getting one of those first picks can be so crucial to winning the team fights.
Here we are on Hanaoka.
Trying to get back into
This is my
Lijiang,
map,
I think.
says I think they clicked.
There we go. I think they just wanted to listen to the opening chime real quick, get in the right mood set.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we're going to be seeing Hanaoka this week. I'm not sure if it's in the map pool, but we will see when it comes to the. I believe Clash is the 4th or 5th map that comes.
Yeah,
I think it's the 4th, right?
I think that now the 4th is it goes control hybrid, push flashpoint, and then I think escort.
Oh, so there
And
is
then I
an
think
even
Clash is
Clash.
at the very end. So like tiebreaker, I think.
I thought hybrid was the tiebreaker. Or no, because yeah, never mind. Because you can tie with hybrid. So yeah, that makes sense.
Violence is such a waste of resources.
And we're gonna see that Cassidy, like you said, from Labam,
Yeah, they were on the Ashe before. So the
and we see Talisman with the Pharah. Gonna be playing into that hit scan. Gonna see how that favors. He out of spawn, yep.
Now they're not gonna have she's not gonna have too many great hit scans to take care of
No, not quite.
Fisher's favorite.
Yeah, we have a fight now on point. Trying to find some kills. Both teams. USF Gold and Shores trying to keep everyone alive. Labam finds a good pick onto Atlas as Talisman returns the pick onto Labam. Now Fisher finding the kills they need and starting tapping point now. Finding the remaining kills onto USF Gold.
Which I think is what allowed them to win that fight. They were kind of spread out towards USF
Yeah, we already have that barrage from Talisman up. Seeing the Pharah fight going on now with a pick from Talisman onto Kirito. Followed up with another onto LeBam from Faded. With the Rocket Barrage claiming another, it looks like Fisher is going to drive USF off the point again.
I mean, they were able to hold that. We saw Talisman get some great picks on TDS as well as Atlas just in USF's backline on the Tracer. Being able to put a lot of pressure on LeBam, which takes the pressure off of Talisman, which just allows free reign for Pharah, especially with range angles with Rocket.
Yeah, we have Fisher now at a pretty high cap point now, 65% and climbing. Ult comes out from Faded, unable to find anything just yet. LeBam with the first pick onto Talisman. And with the orbital ray from Source, it looks like USF Gold will finally start capping the point.
I mean, Fisher know they lost it early. They're not going to put themselves in that huge stick from Atlas.
Massive, beautiful full spot from Atlas. Was able to secure that one kill on the DPS. And with the collapse from Fisher, they take the point right back from USF.
I mean, Fisher started that fight at the disadvantage. They dropped out and were able to get back in just so much quicker because of it. And that allowed them to go back in really quick and get those picks. Full from Atlas from Amara, which just swung the fight into their favor.
Yeah, we have the Tracer Genji from Fisher out here, really trying to put a lot of that pressure down. The deflect comes last second from Talisman. Able to stay alive now with a few picks from Fisher. Will put the point into 99%. Overtime for Fisher now. Seems as it's just Asura on the point. As USF Gold falls on the first stage.
Yeah, that's going to be first point in favor of Fisher. They did a very good job. I think credit to the damage on there. They were in the back line causing plenty of havoc, which that's in turn, that's going to leave LeBam and Kirito. They're not going to be able to put pressure on Fisher supports. They're already distracted. And when the supports aren't being pressured, the tank is going uncontested. You're just going to have such a hard time taking control of the map. And that's what we saw reflected that game there. Just seeing the Tracer Genji just doing nothing but causing havoc in the backline. Definitely reflected on how that map turned out. Let's see if USF will be able to kind of change how they play.
Yeah, already we see the Orisa Javelins coming out, already trying to put the pressure onto them. We did see, we have Kirito and LeBam now on the Pharah Cassidy as they had, with the Tracer and Genji again, not making any swaps from that department. With Fisher taking 2 down, make it 3, looking like they're going to start capping on this second point again.
Yeah, I mean, looking at how Fisher are playing, you can tell they know, like, the priority of the focus. Almost the last live almost fight is Asura on the Orisa, just because he's just being ignored. They're just going around the Orisa. They know that that's not their primary target, but they should go for the support DS. Huge kill from Talisman.
Yeah, beautiful plays from the DPS out of Fisher. I mean, you're seeing these plays that it seems like USF Gold doesn't really have an answer to as of yet, as they're just building ult charge now, ready to fight whenever USF is ready.
We'll secure the props of the day, which I do think will make a significant difference, especially with Genji. Huge nade from the bomb onto the Talisman ult.
Down to the ulting Genji
as well.
Really good fit. We now see a bunch of ults come down, both orbital rays, and it seems as Fisher was able to withstand the storm and take USF Gold right back to spawn.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing an ult off and a huge stagger on the flank here.
Huge stagger, just able to keep one of their supports. You see USF back up, ready to fight now, and just now is that last support dying. Beautiful work from Fisher. With the main wall, Talisman gets caught out now. Just shy of hitting that pulse bomb. Atlas not able to stick it this time. Fisher on the back foot now, trying to play back on point. Let USF come to them with a Deadeye from Labam. Being kept up by Source. Unable to find anything, but still able to help USF run back Fisher for right now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them begin that fight early pick onto Talisman on the Genji with that main wall, being able to just get that early pick and force his base to back up to point, and from there they're able to spread out and do a much better job at taking down. You see the Talisman switch to Widow to see what kind of
Talisman, yeah. Definitely a swap to me. Yeah, with that orbital ray, they might be able to stay up in the back there. Not using it from Pirate just yet. Labam finding a great pick onto the tank for Fisher. Atlas returning with one of the supports on USF. Both orbital rays come down now from either team. Asura finding 2 picks onto Fisher. Able to push them back just a little bit. Stalling time now. Trying to get closer and closer to that percentage. As Atlas finally gets moved out in the back.
Their supports were in the back line. Not much help from the tank back.
Yeah, a lot of fighting going on all over the place, too. Talisman finding the one. More fights on point with Flan and Unread both having that rally up. Now just Flan. Pirate finding Stores on the outside with the homing missiles. As Fisher seems to finish off USF Gold on Lijiang Tower.
That is going to be Lijiang Tower in favor of Fisher. Very good job from them. They played really well. I think they just did a very good job of being coordinated and getting the picks they needed to, and the DPS just being the distraction that the role was meant to be. I mean, you saw towards the end there, Fisher did from USF because they had the Tracer in the backline of both the supports. Even though the Tracer did die, that gave Fisher the space to retake it, and then from there just win the point and cap, which was definitely great to see. We saw some great resilience from USF as well with the Mei swap. They definitely realized we're in our spawn right now. Whatever we're doing isn't working. We need to make some swaps, and that's what allowed them to retake the second half of that map. There was just the being able to recognize what's wrong and make the switches they needed to. So hopefully we can see that mindset carried out in the next few maps.
Yeah, and USF definitely had a lot more fight on that second point, really giving Fisher a run for their money on that one. But we still saw the great picks from the DPS on Fisher when they needed to get them down. Constantly a threat to the support on USF. They're not really able to live in that back line like they want to with that constant pressure from the DPS. And then you have Asura just laying down tons of suppressing fire from that Orisa onto their whole team. And it looks really good. Or I'm sorry, I was Fated laying down that suppressing fire. But really good from Fisher on at least Lijiang.
Yeah, I think, like you said, they did a great job with the tank keeping the pressure and the map control while the DPS is in the backline. I mean, the DPS can do that and cause as much issues they need to, but it's not going to get the value if there isn't somewhere there to answer it. And that's where Fated comes in with the supports, being able to just take that map control, ignore Asura, and just put the pressure on the rest of the team until kind of a lost fight, and they can either stagger Flan like they did there, or just kill the tank and go in for the next fight.
Yeah, that was another thing. The staggers from Fisher, It might not seem like too much, 1 or 2 fights, but that's just so much percentage that they're building on that point that USF is just having to wait and regroup, knowing that they're unfavored in the fight and they probably won't take it. Both teams definitely recognize each other as a threat and are playing well together to deal with each team. But it looks like Fisher's just doing a little better right now.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna see if that changes in the next map here on hybrid. I believe is what we're going to. It will be. So far, we have a ban on Midtown. I'm
Midtown ban,
expecting
yeah.
another Kings Row. I mean, that's pretty typical for most teams. Very great map since the start of the game.
Very
And
true.
I mean,
We always see that Kings Row.
definitely. And one thing I'm looking forward to is we saw Talisman on the Widowmaker, and that's a ban on Hollywood. I think that is going to be a Kings Row pick then. So Talisman on the Widowmaker. Definitely, Widowmaker is a great pick for Kings Row. A lot of long sights, sniper-oriented map, but also dive-oriented map. I mean, the Tracer Genji were causing a lot of issues, and there's lots of side hallways in there to cause plenty of issues. So we're going to see what Fisher is able to do with this map, and if USF is going to be able to answer it, unlike this last.
Yeah, with that swap from Talisman, you saw. I'm not too sure we saw any picks right away come through, but we did see a couple of those headshots onto the tank. Knowing that Talisman is definitely capable of the Widow, it won't shock me if we see an initial Widow pick just to look for 1 or 2 when they are on the attacking side.
Yeah, I think on defense too, Widow definitely isn't as strong as a pick. You're just not able to keep as much pressure. I mean, on the attack side, there are lots of angles you can use to hide. Like I said, there's the side angles. You can go in the back
Mhm.
rooms. Really avoid those sniper sights. But on attack, I mean, you're the one that's pushing into them. You're the one that's forcing those angles, and that's forcing the defense to back up. So that's why the Widow is just so much stronger.
Yeah,
And
which also makes me think that maybe if Talisman really feels it on like the long range DPS, we might even see like an Ash on the defense, playing in that back line with those sight lines, maybe able to rain down some good fire
yeah,
onto the enemy team.
that was something I was going to mention. Is I think in Ash is probably what to expect here. Great mid-range, close range, long-range hero all around. But I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised if we see the dive picks like the Genji and the Tracer. It's just Fisher is a very coordinated team. They were doing a great job in the fight. I wouldn't be surprised if the type of attack go around the side, get the high ground, get the map control right off the bat instantly without any kind of hesitation in the choke, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, we have Fisher on the Zarya Junkrat. Gonna be trying to hold that choke real hard with that. Trying to spam down with Atlas on the Junkrat. Get that damage down. A couple of those picks. You do see Kirito on the Widow. Straight away for USF.
Zarya is an interesting pick. I don't think we've seen too much Zarya season. Junkrat as well. I haven't seen too much, but I really like the idea. Immediate sleep on Kirito. They know where that was.
Yeah.
And they're stalling them out.
Fisher is wise to the tricks. Not going to be caught lacking by Kirito on that Widow. Forcing that swap, yeah. They have LeBam on that Ash. On the high ground. Going to be trying to put down some damage. On to Fisher here. Finding a great pick on the Talisman. 1-for-1 now for each team. Gonna have the USF tank on the high ground. Asura trying to get rid of some of the Fisher players. Getting caught in the trap. A little isolated right now. Might have to try to regroup with the team. Able to. Now on the point is USF. Trying to keep their footing, but it looks like Asura falls.
Barely back and forth here.
Yeah, like you said, just really great positioning from Fisher, knowing that they can give up some space if they're going to fight as a team and take it right back in another spot. Trying to push up. Yeah, Flan favoring that far Mercy pick. Gonna see if they can get anything done, as Faded does find one onto the tank. Bam takes down Talisman. Kirito finds the other DPS for Fisher. With the Rocket Barrage to run them back a little bit more. Unable to find anything with the Rocket Barrage. Both orbital rays from either Juno comes out. A Zarya grab from Faded. It cleans up 3 for Fisher. Huge picks from Faded.
Very good nano from Unred as well as the grab from Faded. Take that as a very good nano. Get the early picks on to get that Mercy out. Don't let the reds happen, and then from there,
the Riptire from Atlas coming out, looking for the Pharah Mercy, driving up these walls. LaBam finally takes it down, just shy of the Pharah Mercy in the back.
I was definitely excited to see what that could have been.
Great piloting skills from Atlas. Unable to find anything is Talisman with the Rocket Barrage right away. Able to find one after. Fisher cleans up USF one more time. Looking like USF might only have one more fight left.
Yeah, I mean, I really think USF is really trying to push this Pharah and the Mercy. They're going to switch to the Brig, but I just don't think the Mercy offers as much utility as somebody like the Ana does. The Ana, we're seeing insane antis from Unred here on the tank, which just is immediately cutting the fight in half.
It seems like Talisman is just finding great picks whenever they need. Always alive too, being kept alive very well by the support of Fisher. Faded does fall from the Terror Surge, and every USF Gold now on the point, trying to cap. Still some contention from Fisher, not giving it up just yet. Not quite 2 kicks for USF. The Doom swap from Faded, absolutely. Trying to maybe contest a little quicker.
USF is able to cap this first point off of that. I mean, we saw them execute Faded. Faded got a little aggressive with the grab in the last few seconds. And, I mean, Asura hit the Terror Surge. There was a trade tank ults, and then the fight just went in favor of USF. They were able to do what they needed to, and that forced Fisher to a kind of a couple bad swaps, like with the Doomfist just having to get out there and contest. But the fight's over, and you're gonna have to see him switch back to the Zarya, and now you're gonna have to give up so much space once back.
Yeah, we had the Nano come out onto Talisman there, trying to just stop USF from pushing this point too far. Asura is still on it, as Fisher finds 3 and able to hold them off for right now.
Sort of pushing the point there while the rest of the team was kind of just fighting in the back, all in their lonesomes. Seems like a lot of different fights going on. Swap to the May.
Yeah, a lot.
Kirito as well.
100%, and I think that they might be trying to do that to help isolate some of these tank fights. Try to catch Faded off now. Not let Faded charge up to 100% and just run at their team with a huge laser beam. USF fighting into Fisher here, not able to take too much ground just yet. Fisher doing a really well job at the defense. Atlas finds a great pick onto LaBam on the Widow. A few more from Pirate on Fisher. Kirito in the back, trying to keep Unred down. Looking more undead. Can't kill him.
Yeah,
Keeping him in the
saw
back.
very low. They're able to win that fight with the help from Pirate. And it's going to be 20 seconds on the clock for USF. We're going to see if Fisher's able to hold this. Their ult advantage is looking in favor of Fisher here. They're going to have a lot up. And there it is.
Talisman with a 3-man barrage completely shuts down USF Gold and stops the payload in its tracks.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do against a bubbled Pharah ult, especially when you're anti. That saw some great anti.
Yeah, and especially when you have to be on that point right at the end there, you have to push up, and Fisher knows that, so they're just gonna wait and wait and wait and strike when they need it most.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're going to see USF on the defense now and just see if they're going to be able to maintain that kind of slight pressure they had when they were on the attack. I think one of the only reasons they were able to get that far is just because of Faded pushing up so far. I mean, it was in the last 10 seconds of the game. You have grab, you say, okay, I mean, this is the last fight. I'm going to use it now or never. And I think that kind of changed the course of that fight. Was the slight overextending into around the corner, away from the swords. You lose the tank, and then the rest of the team follows. And hopefully Fisher recognized that one slip up and are able to adapt. And hopefully USF as well are going to be able to hold a solid defense here and figure out what worked well and what did not, and then adapt to it.
We have some pretty friendly banter going on right now. I believe each team was asking for a Torb 1v1 on point, and was saying if with no 1v1, it was a DQ.
That is a real thing, by the way.
That's a real rule. We just read it.
Real rule. Yep.
Neither team going with the Torb 1v1 rule, so it looks like it's not in play this game.
Yeah, we can just end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching. I mean, both these teams lost. We're not seeing the Torb 1v1. If anything, the viewers
now
lost here. This is a loss for everyone.
Finding their first percentage on the point, pushing USF back just a little bit. Not letting them get a cap is USF just yet. Asura taking a lot of damage, but being kept up by the supports from USF. And it looks like pushing Fisher off the point just for the time being. Just shy after one tick is where Fisher is stopped at for right now. Asura falling critically low.
Whoa.
Atlas with a nice pick onto Flan.
Oh!
And a second on the Source. And a third on the LeBam. Cleans up USF Gold and will cap the point for Fisher.
That was beautiful to see from Atlas. Those were some nice shots. We're going to have the sights as well to see if they can get more. But to quickly summarize what we saw there, I mean, we saw Fisher at the very start of that wrap around, take plenty of map control, get an early pick on USF. USF had to back up. USF struggled to take it back, and then you see Atlas just get the position that they need and execute. Talisman a little out of position here in the back line, getting teamed up on by USF, but
yeah, we do have
a really long spawn.
We do have Talisman with that barrage now. Maybe just looking to pair it with the Zarya grab from Faded. USF letting Fisher push closer to this point. Probably going to try to fight him right on the end here.
Maybe.
Spotted by Kirito, and Source finds the kill onto Talisman. No barrage this fight. We see Atlas trying to find those picks again.
And we see USF playing much safer. They don't want like they don't want to be put in a TikTok again after what Atlas did to them. Yeah, they're playing much safer around these corners. They're not beating the Widow, and they I mean, we can see it here. We're not seeing too much. Talisman using the barrage and finding nothing. They're kind of struggling to take this space. We're gonna see if for the third time here, Talisman is able to get something from the back.
With the grab from Faded coming down, capping a great amount of USF in there. Able to take down both supports. Talisman finds a third onto LeBam. All that's left is Kirito. Gonna see if the sleep dart misses from Unread. waving high, or possibly bye, to Kirito as Fisher looks to finish King's Row.
Yeah, that is going to be King's Row for Fisher. I mean, they made it look like a breeze. That's all I can say. You see the way they're positioning and playing. They did. USF did hold a decent amount at the end there. I mean, they saw Talisman's tricks. They knew they were going in the flank, and they were careful with the Widow. But I mean, you're sullen for so long. It's only so much time until you get grabbed and just old dumped, and that's just the way Overwatch is. And I mean, you got to learn to adapt to that. And USF, we are seeing more and more resilience for each of these games, and I'm hoping to see possibly a fourth map in this one.
Yeah, definitely still some fight left from USF. Not just letting Fisher take it too easily. Yeah, gonna see if we can get, I believe, uh, our next point is the push. We favor that Esperanza. Gonna see what they choose this time.
Maybe we got Esperanza, I believe New Queen Street, and
And Runasapi, I
Runasapi.
believe.
I don't have we seen a New Queen Street, or was that last week we saw that?
I think we've had a new Queen Street. I think we had
I think we
definitely
have
the
had all
Esperanza.
of the
I don't
maps
know
here.
if we've had the. Have we had a Runasapi?
We have had a Runasapi.
Okay,
We've had a
okay.
few. So I'm
Actually,
interested to
then
see
definitely a
what
toss
we'll
up for
get
the
here.
push maps. Then
Looking at how these teams played in their comps, what map are you expecting to see here? I believe that it is Fisher is going to be the one picking the map.
Fisher, I with Fisher with how they've been playing, I would say maybe a Runasapi. I feel like they might try to stick. Actually, I feel like Fisher might stick with the Zarya onto this push, and it worked so well for them there. I feel like they're going to stick with it here and play into USF Gold's probably Arisa. And I
I'm
think
going
that's
to
going to be a
disagree.
great matchup.
Although Azaria would be fun, I don't think we'll see it. I mean, push, right? Almost every single week we've seen dive be the meta, right? It's always the
For the
tank and the
most part.
DPS on the other support and who's doing better. I think we're going to see what we have seen from a couple teams. I think we're going to see a very good Winston, Tracer, Genji, possibly a Cassidy, and then just an Ana Brig. Maybe we saw on red hitting some crazy purple nades on the Ana, but there's a
Yeah,
chance for
great
the
util
Juno
from the
as well.
Ana.
So I'm expecting just the standard dive comp, and we are going to be going to New Queen Street here. And this map
And like you're
definitely
saying,
has more layers, so there is a possibility that they don't play dive. So might be leaning in favor of what you called.
the Atlas and Talisman have shown that they are very comfortable on the Tracer Genji pick. So it could definitely very well be a dive from Fisher with that DPS duo. But we'll see as we start to get in what
Yeah,
the team comps favor.
and from USF, I'm hoping they don't go into it at the start like they have been, where they pick something a little strange and then stick with it for just a little too long and then make the swaps at the end of the game where they don't have too much time to snap back. I think we saw that last time we saw this map. There was a team and they made the swaps they needed to, and they were able to hold a decent majority and prevent the other team from winning for a little while. But they made the swaps at the very end of the match where the point was already at their spawn and they just weren't able to retake the space with it. And so
Yeah, not able to get
push
the footing and
push
retake.
yeah, push is a very special mode in which you need to be able to have balance and win multiple fights in a row, especially if you are fighting uphill. If you're at the disadvantage, you lose the first fight and you have to win multiple fights to get back. And so I'm hoping to see these teams be able to uh, learn and know how to adapt to that. I mean, these are very, very good teams, a lot of experience behind them, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some great ult economy, great fights, great positioning from this map here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like what you were saying, a lot of it is first picks. Whoever gets the first picks in a lot of these fights, it feels hard to swing the fight the other way sometimes when your team's fighting down a person, whether that be a support, a DPS, or even your tank. It just feels a lot harder to fight into it. So we might see. Oh, we actually have a Junker Queen from Faded, as well as a Ramatra from Asura right now.
I mean, this is a
Not what
very
we
different team.
quite thought, but I'm all for it. I think this could be a great fight. I think.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see which way this fight will lean. I think it'll really come down to how much of a pain in the butt can Talisman and Rework be for each other's teams. I mean, if you can put the pressure on the support, the tanks, that's an
Ooh.
early pick from Kirito on the Talisman.
Yeah, already a great pick from the May.
We're going to see them already
DPS
start to back
also
up.
vary. We have the Soldier and Tracer from Fisher, and the May Reaper on USF. Definitely different comps. Gonna see which one is favored here. It looks like USF able to push them back, push Fisher back just a little bit. Talisman falling again to Kirito. 2 deaths already, and the robot hasn't even pushed a meter yet. Atlas
we're-
finding both supports on USF.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Fisher
very
now
impressive
gets the
from-
robot moving.
That was very impressive from Fisher with the knowledge to back up there. I mean, you saw Talisman fall at the very, very start and right there again. But, I mean, we see Fisher back up, wait for the team to regroup. And we're seeing some banter in the
strange-
chat.
yeah.
um,
Not the positioning we've seen previously from Talisman. Falling 3 times so far, but Fisher still in the lead. USF seems to be pulling the robot back now. As Talisman's on 4 now. We might have to see how many we can get this game.
I mean,
Kirito with a third.
Kirito's doing a great job on the May here with these headshots. Interesting ult.
Using
huge
the
cleanse.
blizzard. The Kiriko cleanse able to shut down the. What is going on?
What
in
is
this
happening?
side room?
What is going on?
Attack visor, a blizzard, and a Kitsune rush, all in a side room. Fight's going Fisher's way. The robot's pushing back. A rampage from Faded.
I think the momentum
Not able to take Asura down just yet.
I think the momentum has definitely changed. I think from my professional opinion here, I think Fisher has gotten what you call cocky. They're up. They know they're doing really well, so they're just messing about. It seems. I mean, we're
we had
definitely
the
not seeing them
annihilation.
play very coordinated as we've seen in this past round. So, I mean, this entire map for both teams just looks like a playground.
Yeah, we're just seeing a box in the back. Asura, Faded, Kirito, they're all in the back there, just boxing it out.
I mean, we're
They see
3 minutes in.
Atlas
It's only
trying to
40
pull
minutes.
back now.
The fights are very back and forth. Oh, Hank, why is Asura so
We
low there?
have
The
Faded
wrecking ball switch from
into
Faded.
the wrecking ball now. Having some fun here. Feeling what can work. Rework. Finding Talisman again. I wonder how much of this time Talisman has spent blinking back from spawn.
Can we get a?
after the fight.
I really want to see the
Kirito.
scoreboard right now with the Kirito's doing a great job on the May.
Keeps finding great picks
I mean,
with those alt
Maybe-
fires on from the May.
there's the 7th, maybe 8th death from Talisman on the Tracer, pushing up to the supports. And I
Faded
think
falling.
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to this point where Fisher might switch back to what they need here. I mean, they're losing their momentum. They're getting a little too goofy to play.
Kirito uses another blizzard. I think just on 1 or maybe 2 of Fisher. It's good to see both teams seems to be having fun with this.
I think USF is trying as hard as they can right now. You can definitely see they are. You look at
Locked
Kirito here.
in.
They are not sparing any bullets,
Faded
especially
in
for
Atlas.
Talisman.
Great movement there from Atlas. That was
Yeah, very good. We're gonna see if they can. It's a forward spawn here, so they are gonna be able to get back a little bit quicker. They do
yeah, we have
Lucio.
some ults from both team now. This next fight has potential to be a pretty colorful one, with a lot of ults now from either team. Talisman falling again in the back line.
I just want to say, it feels like every time we see Talisman go in, they find the supports, and then they're about to execute, and they disconnect their controller or something. Like, they just walk in a straight line at them, and definitely not the action we've seen portrayed so far in these past 2 maps.
No, we have Faded pulling out all the Wrecking Ball stops, all the tricks, and able to keep the robot pushing. USF still does have the lead by about 10 meters for Fisher.
I mean, looking at ults
On
as
Fisher.
well, we're gonna see a lot come out here to
Backvisor
summarize.
gets walled by Kirito. Unable to find anything is Atlas. Now being pushed back. Juan on another pick onto Talisman. Are we in double digits yet?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It feels like we are always cutting to at least one of Fisher members respawning. Like, I think there is always at least one up there.
The long
Which, I
haul
mean,
back.
A great charge from Kirito.
Waving goodbye. Kirito with another pick.
I mean, I think
onto
this is the
member
start of a
USF,
reverse sweep.
Or Fisher.
I don't
Yeah,
wanna
we
speak
could
too
see,
soon
we
here,
might
but
see Faded use the mines here and then swap to something, I don't want to say better, maybe more serious. I don't know how
you
serious the
can't
Wrecking
get more
Ball is.
serious than a wrecking ball. Do you know what you're talking about here?
The Hammond
Don't diss Hammond.
coming out, and Talisman now returning the favor, finding 2 picks.
That's
2
huge.
huge picks.
Oh,
And
and almost gets the May. Almost.
very,
at
very
the end
close
there.
fight with Kirito.
Almost.
Just goes their way as Talisman is sent back to the spawn room one more time. We do have the minefield from Faded. Gonna
I
see
think this
what
match will go down
what
in
they're
history.
cooking here with that.
Possible Reaper
Oh, I'll
roll
remember it forever.
coming out. Oh,
Pulse
Pulse
bomb. Talisman finds one and falls again. 4v4. Minefield and Kitsune Rush from Pirate. Faded falls. I'm not sure where the minefield got anything. But it
Moral
looks like
support.
Fisher's gonna push back.
I
And we
mean,
do have that swap to Junker Queen now. Can Talisman find the support in the back?
in the Juno
We
vault
have
as well.
scores in the orbital ray. Talisman gets a beat drop.
We're gonna see if they can retake the lead here. They're
Let
so
Talisman
close.
fall.
About 10 meters. Looks like a blizzard coming out soon.
We do have a blizzard
Assuming
and
Kirito
the Death
doesn't
Blossom.
get- I don't think they're gonna have the contestant time. I think this will go back in Fisher's favor.
Yeah, Favor
it is.
takes the lead now. Starts playing a little more seriously.
Fisher,
Now in the
USF
face
is.
of USF.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we see
Talisman.
Faded switch back to the Junker Queen. I think their shenanigans might be up here. We're gonna see the blizzard come out.
We see Faded finding 2 now. A DPS and a support. The Death Blossom comes out from rework. Unable to find anything. Asura does help clean up too. One of those being Talisman again. Are we nearing 20? How close are we?
Yeah,
It's gotta be
this
there.
is one of those moments where the venture pick. That's something I
Venture
love
from
to see. I
Kirito.
love the venture.
100%. We're gonna see if they can get it done here.
Okay. That's 45.
Just a little aim training for USF. And
That
they
was a
click
moment
the
when-
talisman head.
I wish we had just a little bit more funding in order to get these score boards in the middle here, because this is surely something
These
to
are
talk
great
at.
stats. Yeah.
I mean, you look up there, I don't think we've seen Talisman's name off the scoreboard, either if they're getting a 3K with the pulse bomb, or if they're just getting headshot by the May for the 12th time. It is truly astonishing what they're capable of, and we're going to see the swap to the Widow, possibly a change in pace.
Yeah, we have USF now pushing the robot in overtime.
If there's any time
Less
to
than
retake
10
it,
meters
now.
away. We have Source with the orbital ray and the annihilation. 2 picks for Fisher amidst all of that. Make it 3. Talisman finds 2 on red still. And it looks like Fisher defends through the fire and the flames sent them by USF and takes the push map. And
Yeah,
the
that
game.
is going to be the match for Fisher. Very good
Very good
plays
tracer
from
play.
both teams. Yeah, very good
Really.
tracer.
I
I mean,
mean,
we saw some great
great
picks
pick
from
from
Talisman here. I think
Talisman.
Talisman was a little upset with the amount of deaths. Maybe stick to the practice range with the tracer, but I think the Widow is pretty good.
The
So
Widow is not too bad from Talisman.
15 and 20 from Asura. Thank you, Asura, for telling
15
us.
and
The
20. That
15
is beautiful. We did hit a 20 bomb for Talisman deaths that game. Love to see it.
Well, all
but
jokes
On
aside,
a real note, yeah.
that was a great game from both teams. I mean, we saw USF have some pretty good resilience, making swaps they needed to, but I think Fisher was just much more coordinated, maybe had a few better shots and picks in each fight, which just inevitably led them to victory.
Yeah, great picks from the DPS, from Fisher, able to get the picks when they needed it. Maybe not so much on the push game, but the previous maps definitely shined through, as well as the supports, able to keep everyone alive. Great game from both teams, though.
Yeah, for sure. To wrap things up, thank you guys for watching. Thank you to the ECAC. And congratulations to both teams. You both played very well. Congratulations, Fisher, for the win. And thank you, Inferno and Beldia and myself. Thank you guys for watching. Any final words?
Thank you.
No.
All good.
Yep. All right.
Playoffs next week.
Oh yeah, tune in next week for the playoffs. It's going to be very exciting. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.